Yo, what up, guys? Travelz here. First off, I just want to say thank you. For anyone, if you're here because of the Dark Dimension 9 guide, seriously, thank you for all the support on the video, the views, the subs, um, everyone kind of bringing to the channel, everyone popping into the Discord, saying hi, asking for the infographics and guides. Uh, People continuing to comment and engage with my content is what makes me want to continue to build the content. So thank you to everyone who subbed. Really appreciate that. If you haven't subbed yet and you find any value in any of the content, subs obviously help the channel grow, and it makes it it's not financially worth it, but it makes it worth it, to me to get more video and content out there. So I'll post a link to the Discord. I'm in the Undying Alliance, and honestly, there's a ton of content creators in that Discord. They're super nice. They help out with Cosmic Crucible, stuff like that. Old time scan in there, and then there's actually a bunch of new content creators that just jumped in there, but tons of people in there, tons of knowledge base. Anyways, that video is really what prompted this video. A lot of people had asked in the Discord, a lot of people have asked on the Reddit post, a lot of the comments. Basically, they asked, can you actually show us Symbiote 6 and Dark Dimension 9? Are they worth building, right? Should you build Symbiote 6? And honestly, the answer is maybe. I know that's probably not the answer everyone wants, but I think it's the honest one. Overall, I was really impressed with the team as a whole in all game modes, but specifically in Dark Dimension as well. The core three have fantastic survivability. The synergy is excellent. The damage is pretty solid running through the nodes. And once they get rolling, they feel really good to play. Um, I will just note as I'm playing through these, I had Riot done prior to starting. So like I started on the second node of City before I started running with all three. So Riot was, the cooldowns are off and it wasn't perfect running into the nodes. Um, but I guess if your goal is to one shot the nodes as efficiently as possible, if you don't care about like the resource management of the game or building the best teams, the new teams like Shadow Conclave, and you're just trying to finish Dark Dimension as fast as possible, I still think Insidious 6 is probably the best choice currently, and that is including Shocker. But if you're approaching DD9 from the perspective of building characters that are simply great throughout the rest of the game, or you're okay with taking your time and optimizing your attacks each day, then honestly, I don't think you can really go wrong Symbiote 6 or Insidious 6. Either way, they'll get the job done. It's really more about kind of what you're trying to build out with your roster. A couple quick notes before we get deep into the gameplay. I think you guys probably saw my ISO setup in the beginning quickly. I made a couple of changes. So I've tested Quicksilver Symbiote with as a raider and a striker, and it just really depends on the game mode. I also use them through global. Um, I can talk about that a little bit more. I can do a video on it. Honestly, I don't think the video is worth it. I'll just tell you straight out, he kind of sucked. And I don't want to say he sucked because he only has 5 reds, right? So like comparing him in the place of Sentry, my Sentry has diamonds and he's pretty jacked up. So it's not like a true fair comparison. Um, I would G20 him anyways just because he's good, right? But like I know a lot of people don't have the resources. But if you're just specifically looking from a Dark Dimension 9 perspective, I would say probably no on Quicksilver Symbiote over Sentry. Sorry, excuse me. In the run and all this gameplay footage, I did a ton of different combinations. So like I did the Symbiote 6, Hobgoblin, Superior Spider-Man. That's honestly what I thought would probably be the best. Um, but it's hard because like I also wanted to test Vulture Hobgoblin. I thought that would be really good too because you can get the slows out there and you get Hobgoblin with the pings. Hobgoblin is, in my opinion, one of the better characters out of the choices. I did a full Insidious 6 with just Venom. Venom's survivability, and my Venom is 5 diamonds, but his survivability is pretty crazy, honestly. And he's actually a really strong standalone character now. It's kind of wild. He has his own heal. He has an ability block. He has flips. He's actually good, and he gives himself speed now too on his basic. Like he's a good character. Um, I wouldn't sleep on Venom. Again, if you're looking to do the Symbiote 6 anyways, you're gonna do that. But you can I like Vulture Scorpion I used a lot in this gameplay footage, and I thought that would be pretty good. You get the speed and the bleeds. I did a ton of combinations. I did Hobgoblin, Scorpion, uh, and I think that might actually be my favorite combination. If you were gonna do the Symbiote 6, I would say I would probably do the Hobgoblin Scorpion. And that's hard because when I was really looking at it, I really thought Superior Spider-Man would be the way to go with Hobgoblin because he gives the heals, he gives the flips, he gives the energy, like he does the ABs, and he's fast and goes first. So it's hard to say just because of how I started the nodes kind of late and in the middle of them. But you can walk, like I'll show you, like if you watch through all the gameplay, you can see I'll run the same nodes where I have Symbiote 6 playing, and then I'll run it again, and I'll come back with Insidious 6 plus Hitmonkey, and I'll do more damage. And then later in the video, as I'm running through gameplay footage, I'll have Insidious 6 and I'll run them. Not get very far, but I'll do a lot better with Symbiote 6. And for anyone in Dark Dimension, like this was about 2 hours of gameplay footage that I whittled down to 52 minutes. I'm not going to talk for all of this. Feel free to watch more of this at the end, and keep watching to see like what you like best. I'll go through and tag in the video what comps for the teams I had put together. And honestly, feel free to swing through the Discord and ask more questions. But um, I know there's people out there that are going to one shot. They're going to take the time. They're going to sit there and they're going to do perfect RNG. I am not that player. Sometimes, like for some like the surfer events, like I'll take some time, and like maybe on the weekends I got a little extra time where I can spend a ton of time trying to get a perfect RNG. But like that's really not me most of the time. I try to be savvy in what I'm doing, and make the right moves and try and play with maybe how I've used a basic versus a special, or maybe we got the right flip somewhere. But I'm not going to restart the match 75 times so I can get a one shot. So is it possible to do that with Symbiote 6? I'm sure it probably is, honestly. I just like I'm not the person who's gonna sit here and do that. So if that's you, then this is probably not gonna be like the best advice for you. But again, if you're gonna be getting gear, I don't want to say slow, but I guess slow at the rate that Scope is gonna release it. Um, you're gonna have time anyways. You're gonna take your time on the city nodes because it's gonna take you a while to gear up the rest of the characters. So um, you know, anyways, that's kind of my initial thoughts. Uh, let me, I guess overall, like, what would I kind of score the team, like best team or what to use? The like the Hitmonkey and City of Six definitely gets the job done. I know people one shotted with that. It's okay, and I still really like Insidious 6. Obviously they're a raid team, but they do stuff in a lot of other game modes too, so they're not useless and they're pretty fast, but it's a tough call for me. Scorpion placing the bleeds on his passive is pretty big. Uh, like the flips you get with Spider Weaver on the second node is such a pain in the ass. So being able to kill her fast, like Toxin does some serious damage, Venom does some damage, and then they speed each other up a little bit. So you do get some things out of that. Vulture can be nice, but there's like a lot of stuff that combat Vulture, whereas Hobgoblin can flip a lot of the stuff, and he has the unavoidable attack. So I would probably pick out of the three, in all honesty, if you're gonna pick three I6 and two symbiotes, because you would still be looking at three tech gear, and you could do it differently, and you could do skill. Obviously, there's talk of Mighty Blade coming out, who could be a skill, so that might be a skill character that you could sub in, and maybe you look at Hobgoblin and Superior Spider-Man. Or I think, honestly, if I was to pick two, I would say Scorpion, Hobgoblin, the three symbiotes if I wanted to do the three symbiotes. But it's, again, it's really up to you and your roster. I'm sorry this isn't, I was hoping people would come back and be like, yes, Symbiote 6 was great. This is the best team. You should absolutely use them. I can say they're great. They're great in a lot of game modes. I think, building the new teams is always the smartest from resource management. But if we're strictly talking about running through Dark Dimension, the three piece is not obviously going to be as good as the full Insidious 6 team at the moment. But There's a ton of gameplay here. I'll like I said, I'll mark it. Go through to where you want to see and what teams. There are definitely some better fights. I think at the end of this, where you can really see the Scorpion Hobgoblin, which is what I like the most with the Symbiote 6. But anyways, leave some comments, drop in the Discord. Um, if anyone wants to see, I do have some footage for the Dark Dimension stuff with Quicksilver Symbiote Quicksilver. He was fine. I think maybe if he had diamonds, a little bit better survive. I thought he'd be really good, honestly. He has a turn meter rewind. It didn't seem to really be working that great, but it's only 10% on the special with the chain, so like maybe that just is what it was, and it wasn't as much as I was hoping. But the long cooldowns are tough too, and the synergies just aren't really there with Darkstar and Damon and Jeff and Red Guardian. So Sentry with the flips, he's got a percentage, life, and then he adds in like those extra pings when he dies. Like he, honestly, those nodes were I wasn't even trying super hard, and you can do them in like 2 shots or 3 shots if you really don't care, and you just when you get to the global nodes, like make sure when you die, if you're gonna die, that you're gonna come back in and Damon and Darkstar are gonna have ults, and then you're just gonna run through that again. And if you're gonna play it to where you're willing to die and lose on the node, just try and have someone low enough so when you come back in, you can get the double tap and clear it pretty quickly. Um, Going back through the legendary nodes on my second run was honestly super easy. Old Man Logan is just he's amazing. He's a stud. He carries really hard in that section, and even I one shotted the nodes this time. I didn't do it the first time, but Omega Red, like OG Omega Red was he was actually better. Like I just think I played it smarter. I knew the kits a little bit better on the second time through, but it was good. Going through the last section on your first run is the absolute worst, but this time with the Nihilus, it was really easy. Everything was a one shot. So second run, I think similar to Dark Dimensions in the past, second run was definitely easier. Um, I guess just final overall verdict. Would I build Symbiote 6 again? Yeah, why not? Would I build the full Insidious 16? Yeah, like I still like the team. Why not? The fastest definitely Insidious 6 at the moment. That could change again with Blade. But swing to the Discord, hit me up, ask questions. Don't tell me I suck. Whatever you want. This was fun. Peace out. Bye.